All right, Joe, do we make him? It's been such a long time. Do we make him listen to it one more time? Do we do it one more? I missed this song.
Yeah. Oh, man, I miss so much. Yeah.
I'm going to pour.
I love it.
Okay, I'm going to pour my beer right now, brother. I'm going to pour my beer. Wow, this intro track, it's been a month month plus.
Oh, it's more than a month.
Okay.
I think, roughly, like I would say more than a month. Oh, no, yeah, because we stopped around mid-December and now it's almost February, so yeah, over a month. Yeah.
Man, I missed it.
First of all, cheers.
Cheers. Well, let's wait. We're just pouring. We're not even live yet. I still got the music. We got to still the beautiful faces, but cheers.
Oh, okay.
Well, don't tell them. We'll take one sip before we put our faces on. One tiny sip.
Okay.
This is behind the scenes.
I will hold my breath on my cheers for the moment.
There we go. Let me just do it. Let me just flip us over. I just miss this song so much. You know what I'm saying? I guess I can flip us over and let the song play one more time.
Yeah.
Joe, we are back. Bots and Beers, season 2.
Yeah, season 2.
I'm excited, brother.
Who would have thought that would be here, season 2?
Bro,
almost 1 year down the road.
So true, dude.
Nice,
it's been a minute. Dude, so many things have happened. Normally we freestyle this conversation, but I had to take some notes because I was like, I'm going to forget something.
Well, you are better than me because I didn't take any notes. I was thinking about today's episode, and man, honestly speaking, there's so much we could talk about. Right?
Oh, yeah, bro.
So much. Oh my God, so many things going on in the US. Around the globe.
Oh, dude, I think we're definitely going to be talking about some of the same thing. And Rome Dog, I see your messages. Sounds like he got some stupid new glasses. Hopefully, they grow on him. But let me go ahead and pause our theme song. I don't want to. I still love it, and I don't want to get burnt out. So we'll slow it back. But hey, you were about to do something before we. I'm drinking some Jack and Cokes. You know me.
You know me.
Oh, there we go.
Steam whistle. You couldn't miss.
Cheers, brother. It's been so long, man. Cheers to you, brother. It's good to be back, and that tastes good too. Because I don't know. So before we dive into it, I'm just gonna make a personal announcement. That's something you already knew about because I told you in Vegas, but I didn't share on the show. That's not a beer, brother. He's very true, Mr. Mean. It's not a beer. It's a Jack and Coke, but we're close. We're still within regulations, sir. So the announcement, he also knows as well, but it was under wraps. A few friends knew, and it's part of the reason I've been busy and also why this thing tastes so good because I haven't been drinking a lot lately. And the news is that there's a new member of the Bots and Beers family. So we're excited. Me and my wife are expecting our second kid. I'm super excited. We're actually going to do a reveal this weekend. I don't even know if it's a boy or a girl yet. I still don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm going to find out.
That's nice, man. That's nice.
The truth is, thank you. It's in the air.
Happy for you.
I'm so excited. The truth is out there, though, right? Whether it's a boy or a girl has been put on a piece of paper somewhere that I don't possess yet, but it's already written down. So it exists in the world. But I don't know. Yeah, so
that's awesome.
I'm excited for that news. Mm-hmm.
I was talking to my wife about you guys. Excuse me. And I told her, oh, Jeremy and his wife, they are expecting a new baby, and she looked at me. Yeah, I wish we also could do that.
It's so funny too. Like one of my friends who just is in the chat as well, right? He's like he wants to have another kid. He's like, man, I think it'd be cool to have another kid. But some people, right? I think it's such a crazy decision, right? What a crazy topic. Bots and Beers starts on season 2, episode 26, right? Kids, but it is right. The world is a crazy place. The world is in a crazy state. That's for sure.
But if you think a little bit about it, I remember listening to my parents, and my uncles and aunts saying the same thing. Oh, the world's too different. This generation, oh my God, what's gonna be of
Yeah, that's true.
To this generation. So we are saying the same things that our parents used to say. But
that's true.
I think it's a totally different ball game. That's for sure, right? The technology, the internet, the world so connected and so and at the same time it's a paradox, right? Because we are so connected, we can talk to each other, thousands of miles away.
It's so crazy.
Real time, but at the same time we are so apart from each other, right? We are disconnected from the world at the same time.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, there's so much to be said. I think that if I were to take what you were just talking about and unpack it, there's just no truer words to be said. We're on our devices. We're messing with applications and technology almost 24/7, right? Yeah. I find it as an absolute dub when I pick up my phone on Mondays and it says, you used your phone 40 minutes less than last week. I'm like, yes! I feel like it's good. And there's something about connecting with other people, connecting with the environment, right? Going outside into the world or into the woods or whatever, and just doing that kind of stuff and having the experiences. I'm in this weird conflict though, Joe. I want to get your opinion. I don't know if it's because I'm becoming an old fart or what, but it's like my base state now is I don't want to go out into the world. It's like I'd rather just sulk in my own nonsense. But once I get out there and I go to I don't want to go to the zoo, right? And then I'll go to the zoo and then I'm at the zoo and I'm like, okay, it's not so bad. This is actually kind of fun, And do you feel that way? Or are you the kind when your wife's like, hey, we're going to go out this weekend or we're going to go to ABC? Are you like, hell yeah, let's do this? Are you more like, okay, I got to do what's your thoughts? Where do you sit? I'm interested.
I'm a person that currently I like to stay at home. I like to do stuff with my family, right?
Sure.
Go out with my wife and my daughter. Now during the winter we go tobogganing and whatnot.
Oh wow!
During the summer we go camping, but other than that, I don't like to go out anymore.
Yeah.
And it's funny because usually when I get that, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Beforehand, I simply don't want to do them.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of on the same boat as you. Like I don't like to use my phone.
Yeah.
Well, just now we were outside, my wife and I, and we passed by a store, and she said, "Let's take a look on some phones."
Mm-hmm.
And I asked why. Oh, for you, your phone's too old. No, I don't want it. I want my old phone, and the slowest, the better, because then I don't want to use something that's slow, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm not going to use my phone.
Creating a bad user experience for yourself just so you don't want to use your phone as much. Hey, that's an interesting thought.
So my camera doesn't work anymore, so I cannot take pictures.
Yeah.
I barely can read QR codes with my camera. It's kind of blurry and it doesn't focus.
Yeah.
I don't care. You're
fine with it. You're like, hey, right? I don't give a damn.
My wife has an iPhone. She can take all the pictures that she wants.
There you go. Those got good cameras too. Yeah, those got good cameras.
Right. So I'm gonna stick with this phone until it's broken. Then I'm gonna buy something new. But even then, I will think, maybe I get a secondhand, like 5 years old, because then it's already kind of unfunctional.
Okay. So, yeah. You're like it's just unreasonable to have something at a certain point. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that. Myself, right? I've never, one time in my life did I ever buy like a brand new car, right? Mm-hmm. This house that I'm in now, it's the first time that we got something that was in the process of being built, right? My other house in Washington, that was, years and years old. So I think that there's a lot of merit to evaluating it. I mean, cars is a perfect example. Right, cars are a perfect example. People want to go out. I'm even in the market for a new car. Right, my car, the one I have in my driveway, is I'm kind of like you in a sense that it's a 2007 or 2008 Chevy Impala. Right, it's almost 20 years old. It's been paid off for longer than there's probably people that listen to this podcast and it's younger than the car that I have. So. I'm in the boat, but at the same time, it's like I'm looking and I don't want to buy brand new, because as soon as you pay that kind of money for a car and you drive it off, you're instantly in negative equity you know, and you're in a
20%
yeah,
down,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
10, 20%
So
down. You walk outside of the dealership is like 10, 20%
and have you seen
less.
like car prices? I'm like shopping, bro, and like car prices are just. When I went to buy a car last, you know what they said for a car price and like what's reasonable today is ridiculous. You know, like cars are like 80, 90, $100,000. And I'm like,
that's a
bro,
lot.
like,
Yeah, that's
why is like a new, you know, full size SUV, like a Jeep or something, like $90,000? You're like, why in the hell, you know?
But
And,
you know, this topic, it's very interesting and funny for me because I'm Brazilian, right? I come from
yeah,
Brazil, and cars over there are a totally different ball game.
is it?
So cars in Brazil are a symbol of status.
Yeah,
So people buy good cars to show up,
yeah,
essentially,
yeah.
right? Most of them, and therefore is extremely expensive.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because most of the cars we have back home in Brazil, you in America, you will never see them because they are smaller. We call them like how do we call in English? Would be like, I don't know, like I don't
It's
know
like,
how to translate.
no,
But
I was thinking like in the Philippines they have these things called like rickshaws or like these little shuttles. I know that's not what it is, but
no,
I know how
the
every country has
term,
their own. Yeah.
yeah, the literal translation is popular, right? Because it's the cars that sell the most, but they are smaller. They
Yeah.
back in the day, like 10 years ago, they didn't have, for example, the not the screens, the windows would be manual, so there would be no AC on the car.
Yeah.
So very simple cars.
Yeah. Very basic. Yeah.
And they are shifting. They are improving the quality or the items inside the car, but it's getting very expensive. The cheapest car in
Right.
Brazil, the cheapest one, what I heard is around 90,000.
See?
90,000.
See? That's what I'm saying. Like it's getting prices are getting ridiculous.
But it is the cheapest.
Yeah.
If you get a truck like F-150,
oh, bro,
I don't know exactly, but I bet is over 200,000.
Yeah, no, I bet like the car. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't even like looking at cars now. I'm kind of just like, because you know me, right? You know, and I've been hanging out enough. Like you know a little bit about me, and I don't like. I'm not trying to get a car that I have to have car payments for, because then I have to have a job, right? Or I'm going to be spending my savings, or I'm going to be cashing in stocks or something, and I ain't trying to do that. But it's the same in America, though, right? Don't get it twisted. In America, people care about their cars, right? People care about having a fancy car. I want a fancy car, right? Like I want a nice. There's a specific car that I want. I don't want to say it on here. You know?
Which one? Tell me.
No, I'm looking at what I like. I like electric. Right, I think I'm kind of interested in electric. Yeah, so I want to kind of give that a go. Because of the longevity, right? If you go on YouTube, you can find videos of people who purchase some of the original Teslas, right? Some of the original Teslas. And these things are literally going on like 300,000 miles and still driving like no problem. And some of them haven't had battery replacements, the maintenance. There was a guy that literally has two of them, and he drives them as taxis in like in UK. And he's like, dude, like I've replaced the tires a few times, but like, dude, he's like the maintenance has been minimal compared to like when he used to drive regular cars. He's like, they both have 300,000 miles. He's like, I wouldn't have been able to drive a normal car this long. And they still, there's all sorts of talks about battery capacity and, and longevity. And he's like, dude, I still get roughly 90% of the range of the original battery, even now, 10, 15 years, whatever it was, it's been. But so if cars can't last, like if I could buy a car right now and I could say, hey, it's going to last me 20 years and it'll drive 300,000 miles and it might be worth the extra expense. I consider it as like two cars, right? If that's literally two cars, worth of money that I'm spending, then that price of, 100K becomes a little bit more consumable, but it's still ridiculous, right? Who wants to have a rent or a mortgage payment that's the price of a car?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I get it. Man, I respect whoever wants electric cars. I just don't see the why. I don't get, like, I get it. I get it why, but it's not for me. You know what? I don't know. A few months ago, we were in a shopping mall, and there was this Tesla shop store, and my daughter.
I don't want a Tesla, but yes.
For some reason, my daughter likes Tesla, right?
Yeah.
And then when she saw, she immediately started asking, "Oh, let's go and take a look, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're here, so why not?
Why not? Yeah, of course.
And man, it's a nice car. It's beautiful, but as soon as I sit on the driving seat and I look at the
dashboard and the cockpit.
It's not for me, man. So much technology.
You work in tech. What are you talking about, Joe? You work in technology.
Bro, I'm using a Samsung S9 because I don't want to buy new stuff. Like I don't want to learn these things, right?
Bro, we got to get this podcast famous so you can retire on the beat. Don't have to worry about all the technology, and I'll get you in a Tesla one day.
Don't get me wrong. For the things that I use to work, for work, I love it. I love to learn new stuff. You know me. I'm spending time, learning AI and all these things. But when it comes to things that it's just for me, like just for pleasure or for leisure time, go to hell. I don't
it's like care, I don't care. It's not for me.
Man, I like my my car. I like regular cars. You know
another reason I like the electric. Another reason why I want the electric is because depending on if you get the right model, like, bro, those things are so fast. Like, they're so fast. And you can, and I don't care who wants to check me on this from the American muscle, like the old school horsepower but I'm telling you right now, I could even take something like the Porsche Macan Turbo, 500-600 horsepower, it's a little SUV, and it's going to smoke most people's little Mustangs or Corvettes are around here, right? It's going to at least hang out with those. And because electric is it's insane, the speed, the acceleration.
It's instantaneous, right?
Yeah.
I get it. I get that it is faster.
It's part of the reason.
It's silent, it's quiet. And there's so many advantages, but one thing that I was actually listening to Joe Rogan, and he was talking about electric cars, and he was on this topic. He agreed with you, right? The speed and all the advantages, but one thing that he said, I got me thinking for a little while, because when you get an old car, especially a standard car, you feel everything. You feel every bump.
That's very true. You
feel the roar from the engine.
Yep.
And then when you shift and you press the clutch and you shift and all, it's an experience.
Yeah, no doubt. No, you're right.
Just as driving an electric car is also an experience, right? You experience some technological way of driving a car, but driving an old car and with a standard shift, with clutch, with a muscle engine, man, that's so nice.
Oh yeah,
that's
dude.
awesome.
I mean, you're 1000% accurate with that statement, right? There's no way I can sit here and say I can't argue with you and say, Joe, that's not accurate. I believe you too. And if you've ever, I'm not only gonna say believe you, I can say that I understand, because I mean, I've ridden in a Chevy Nova, just a big horsepower, it's fucking rumbling, and you're sitting there and you feel it, right? I've sitting inside of a Stage 1 Roush Mustang and watched that thing hug the corners, right? You feel the engine, and in electric cars, right? That's why a lot of companies have spent millions of dollars in R&D to try to recreate it. Because there's no noise, right? You're driving an electric, it's a battery, there's no sound, there's no vibrate.
Some of them, they put surround system with the sound of the engine, right?
Yeah.
Which for me is bananas.
It's too much for you. Too much for no tech
No.
Joe.
For me, someone that buys an electric car and puts the sound of a regular engine is just
Yeah, dude. So
I don't
there's
wanna say
this.
anything, but
I
yeah,
can't even
yeah.
think. I used to know the name, and I would say it. I'm not trying to like censor myself, but I can't think of the name. But there's a company, and I saw them. They were at a convention for Mustangs because Ford has an electric SUV called the Mustang Mach E, and it's a fully electric. But there's this company that has kits, and they mount onto the back of your SUV on the bottom. And essentially, it's like a speaker system, but that's what it is. It gives your car the sound, and it's through a phone app. Like they connect that box into your system, and it connects to your actual electronic control panel, so it maps to your RPM, so it's actually accurate to how you're driving. And in the app on your phone, you can select the sound you want. So if you want to sound like a Ferrari, or a certain type of, Lamborghini, like you can have your car match that sound. And you'll see videos of it driving past. It'll be like, it sounds crazy, but it's completely fake. Yeah, it's completely just for the experience.
Yeah, but that's so nuts, and
it really is. It really is.
It's a very interesting, user feature because I see the potential, and I see people buying it and paying money for it, and actually having some excitement using it, right? Because just by talking, it is exciting.
Yeah.
It's not for me, but
yeah, right? I should play that on your old normal car. It sounds like
while we were talking about cars, I couldn't stop thinking about, because my father had quite a few old cars.
Yeah,
one that was remarkable for the whole family, and I still to this day I remember.
What is it?
It's an old Beetle.
Yeah, those Volkswagen Beetles.
Yeah, but not the current one, the very old one, the German. So it's smaller. It looks like Beetle indeed. So the engine is on the back.
Yeah. I've seen something like that. So let me know. So that's what I want to hear it in the chat too. Like I want to see what people's like dream car. What is their dream car? Like if money wasn't a thing, what kind of car are you getting, right? What are you, if you got a check tomorrow just for a car, what dealership are you driving to and picking it out? I want to see in the chat. I wonder what people are interested in. What about you, Joe? What's your, like, I know you're not fancy, so like you don't like car, what do you want if you got the check?
If money was not a problem, I would get the biggest car that I could ever get.
The biggest car.
Yeah, like 8
a van?
seats. Yeah, no, not a van. No, not a van. No. Like
life altering money. You can get anything. Joe wants a van. Oh my god, you better fix this.
No. Like Lincoln. I think Lincoln.
Like a Navigator.
Yeah. Something like that. So very, very big, very powerful. But space for the family. Yeah. We can go camping, and our dogs wouldn't have any issues.
No, dude, they could sleep in the back. Like, dude, there's enough room for all sorts of stuff. You wouldn't even need a tent. You could probably lay down the back row, and all you guys could just lay back there. Lincoln Navigator, especially like nowadays.
I don't know, man, because when we bought our car is 7-seater, right? It's Nissan Pathfinder, and we like to go camping, and this is funny because in one day, and we like to go like to do day trips or like just one night out.
Yeah.
And because we have dogs, you know how it is. When we have dogs,
so
it's difficult.
Hard,
right?
Yeah, you gotta pre-plan.
So we planned this trip up north. We would drive like 8-10 hours. We'd sleep in a campsite, and then come back on the next day.
Yeah.
And I told my wife, well, we bought this car. It's quite spaceful, right? It's a spaceship inside, and let's sleep inside the car.
Right? How did it go? How was it? How did that work?
Bro, it was so insane because then we got to we drove all day long. We got to the campsite. We even make the pit fire, the fire pit on the campsite.
Yeah.
We burned some marshmallows. And then when we got to the time that we had to sleep, it's not flat. It's like there's some inclination, right? And then we just lay down, on the we just we put the seats, we lay down the
Yeah.
seats. So we had like the space was there,
Yep.
but it was not even.
Uh-huh.
There was a lot of bumps, and it was there was an inclination. So I couldn't sleep, man. I couldn't sleep. Neither my wife,
It's gonna be
neither
so
my
great.
daughter. No, it was terrible. It was terrible. It was the worst experience ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's more to it, but I don't want to spend too much time on this. But I know that we woke up on the next day and then look at each other. Never again. Never again.
Oh, bro, I've done that so many times. I can't. I'd have to talk to my wife to get some of the, like, there's these funny jokes that I remember us having from some of our trips. But like, we've done quite a few road trips where, you just like will sleep in the car, right? Like we're driving from like Texas to Carolina. We want to make it back. We want to make it there in like one shot. So it's like 22 hours. So we'll like drive as long as we can till like 1 or 2 in the morning, and then we'll find some rest stop and we'll just sleep in a car. Right? We'll just sleep in a car, lock the door, and
hours,
then a couple hours, and you get back on and then drive. And so I've done it before. I can't say it's ever like the best sleep, but I've never had a problem sleeping. I do. How do I say? I give credit to me being able to sleep like that from being in the Army. Because the Army will teach you how to sleep anywhere. Like, bro, you'll get 30 minutes of sleep in the worst conditions you can imagine. You'll figure out how to turn the switch off real quick, and get a couple of snoozes in. So the Army teaches you that.
It's a skill, right? You can train. Mm-hmm. For me, it's very, very hard. I was never trained on that.
Yeah.
When we were in Vegas, my flight back.
After
like 12 a.m.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, this is going to be excruciating.
Yeah, it's gonna be the worst.
I couldn't sleep at all. So I was woke during the whole flight.
Oh,
and
man.
I got into I landed in Toronto like 7 a.m. No sleep whatsoever. I was.
You were chalked. You were chalked. Nah, dude. Hey, but one thing that will fix that memory, and I want to just reminisce in this moment for a second. How good were those ribs?
Oh man, no, don't.
He said no, don't. He said no, don't. I'm gonna put that. It's gonna be a short. I'm gonna do a short of that. Oh no, don't. He didn't want to go back there, ladies and gentlemen. Those Vegas ribs were the best I'd ever had. I've had some good ribs, but
we can't talk about that, man. Because if my wife she wants to go there,
right? Those are the best ribs I've ever had, dude. I was telling some. I don't know why. Perfect. I don't know why that, but something popped in my head, and I was telling somebody our story about how we were like, I was telling them we were literally bitching about the cost. We're like, dude, why are these ribs so expensive? So expensive. Like, dude, they better have just made these ribs today. Like, they better be so good. And then, like, dude, we put those first ribs in our mouths, and all of us just shut up. Like, we were just like, bro, okay.
They were incredibly expensive.
But they were delicious. So there we go. We switched it to a high note. And before we get flabbergasted, dude, we're getting back in our old ways. I didn't even get a chance to start asking you some questions, right? You were talking about the state of economy, right? Have you seen anything about DeepSeek and R1 and that model?
Bro, I was like, this was the main thing that I wanted to talk about.
Yep.
Because I know there are a lot of things going on.
Yep.
And it's hard to pick one topic that it's sparkles more than DeepSeek. And I was even watching some videos about it.
No, what'd you see? What'd your research take you?
No, it's just people explaining what they are and why they are disrupting the industry, right? Because it seems to be very disruptive because essentially they can do what ChatGPT can do in a much lower cost, right? my perspective, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, from what I was reading in some of these articles, right, $600 billion wiped off NVIDIA's market cap. You know, $600 billion.
Billion. Wow.
Billion with a B. It's the single biggest loss for one company in like U.S. history, period.
Wow. That's a lot.
So, you know, a lot of people are curious to ask, has the AI bubble burst? You know? And this is an interesting topic, right? I think that this is a very, very interesting development, given, you know, this is going to put, in my personal opinion, this is going to put Sam Altman a lot of egg on his face, because Sam Altman, like the guy that's leading the helm for ChatGPT, OpenAI, right? Their CEO at OpenAI. And so I think that this is going to be a serious problem for their organization, because if they can't figure out how this was engineered and do the same, like, I just don't see how they're going to make it, right? He's been talking about AGI and all this crazy shit. He's been gassing up the industry, the AI industry, and what they're going to bring to the table. And the biggest, when they went from 3 to all the way to where they're at now and all this integration, most of this has been under what we've been discussing last season, agentics, right? Yeah. It's not advancements in technology. They're just taking one agent and having your information handed off to other agents that are then getting this information and presenting it to you through different forums. So it's not like any of those technologies are advancing. And if somebody's able to do what they're doing at a fraction of the cost, I mean, that's big trouble. Like, they've been getting the amount of money that they've been getting to, you know, to scale and figure this thing out from Microsoft and others. I think that's going to have, you know, you're going to start seeing the pedal stop, right? And he's the one that's been, to me, like Sam Altman, he's the one that's been gassing it up. He got let go from that company. He went back because they threw a fit. A lot of people have left the organization, and they really haven't done much except small adjustments and, you know, small improvements. So I think this is very interesting. It's very interesting.
But you know, one thing that caught me, that caught me because at the end of the day, it's a Chinese company.
That's right? Why I was going to ask your opinion too. Yeah.
Yeah. No. See, I have Chinese friends. It's not about the Chinese people, but at the end of the day, we know that how the Communist Party is in China, right?
Yeah.
They control a lot of things. They control people. They control information. They can request whatever they want from the companies.
Yep.
And this is the debate happening in the US with TikTok, right? That's why.
That's a beautiful, segue from that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was asking to have some US company owning the US branch of TikTok. And honestly speaking, as a user, right?
You're on the talk? No.
No, because I know that like, I prefer to pay $20 or $30 to ChatGPT than pay $20 or $15 or whatever that is to China.
Yeah.
Because I know at least my data is not going to be used by the
adversaries in a way that might. No, there's a lot of validity to what you're saying. I think there's a lot of people that are just, without trying to take it, and I want to stay away from politics without taking it too political. I think that there's plenty of people who will not support it just for, just for whatever reasons because of China. But your thing is completely valid, right? You don't know what they're doing. But the crazy thing is you take the same thing into context and you look at something that might be more important, right? Something that might be more important than what Joe looks at in GPT might be if Joe took a blood test at 23andMe to find out his heredity, who was in his family and his family tree information. And then now China buys that company and they have all your genetic information and they understand, hey, these guys have these allergies or these guys are predestined to succumb to these types of medical issues. And then, use that as leverage, right? I mean, I think there's a lot of crazy, scary stuff out there. I don't know, Well, from that perspective, I'm almost on the opposite. Because I mean, like, I think that you could probably do some much crazier stuff with ChatGPT on your own. You know, like if China wanted to use AI in another way versus just using it to mine information from us. But I mean, to your point, that's why TikTok, you know, that's such an interesting debate. Like we don't even have time to crack that can of worms open, because you look at TikTok, for instance, and the version of TikTok that China has versus the version of TikTok that America has. It's different. So, I mean, you're in this situation where, you know, companies use their AI and algorithms for different purposes. You know, it's tuned for American kids to get on there and adults to get on there and waste their time to maximize your consumption of the app, to keep your eyeballs, you know, glued to it. I downloaded it, used it a couple of times, but I haven't been on it. But you get me on the soapbox. I think it's crazy though, right?
Yeah, but one thing that I heard that it's very interesting is this guy was simply asking, well, yeah, I know China is doing that, but who can guarantee that Apple, Microsoft, Meta, or whatever that other American company is not doing the same?
Oh, they're already doing that shit. You already said. What do you mean?
They are.
Yeah. What do you mean? What is America? Like, they are. You agreed to it when you signed the disclosure and you checked that box that you didn't read. You know, when you agreed to all those terms, like they're using your data. That's why. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. That's why Meta is so big. That's why all these big
absolutely
tech companies are so big, because they have all the data.
Yeah, and it's not that
we can't get away from it.
And they sell that information to advertising companies, and that's where they make their money. Like, we're not people have known this, and that's why when I stopped using like apps, right? I'm not on an app. Like, I have a Facebook profile. I'm on LinkedIn. Because for professional reasons, has, you know, little to do with social, unless I can flip it into some way to monetize it. But it's strictly for business, right? It helps me. I've never had a problem getting jobs for years because of my LinkedIn profile, and almost little to do with what I've done. So it's paid for itself. But I don't use the other apps because you're an unpaid intern and you are the product, right? What you do and what you click and what your viewing habits are, that's the product, right? That's what they're looking to get. So I don't use that stuff.
Yeah. But TikTok, it's crazier because they have more access to our data or to those that have the app. What I saw is that they can even monitor your eyes, your face, and your expressions, and where you look and how you feel about the content.
Bro, let me tell you this. Let me tell you something. Call of Duty, my favorite game, the one I've been playing, it's been out for 20 years. Over a decade ago, over 10 years ago, they put in for a patent office to use the Xbox Connect or webcams. They have an execute file, a DLL file that's built into their downloading. It accesses your webcams to do facial recognition to see when you're playing certain matches, whether you're enjoying them or not enjoying them. It's literally written into the patent. And this is a decade ago. And this is American companies, right? And so bro, this is something that's been going on. And you know, I love to go back to this topic called technology lag. You know, we're sitting here on the fact that you and I are hosting this podcast on multiple stations using this technology and this type of quality, and anybody in the world on the planet Earth can listen to us. And like, bro, like a couple thousand years ago, we were fighting for survival just to find our next meal and put clothes on our back, right? We're literally messing with dynamite now. You don't even get me to start on real science. I don't know if you've heard of mirror molecules or mirror atoms, and this thing that scientists are messing with, where basically, like, I can take specific molecules and I can. There's the way that science works and evolution works. There's like, let's say that to make it very simple for the common man to understand without getting into a 20-minute science talk, is that imagine that everybody's genes and all the information in your genes has a left-handed orientation or a right-handed orientation. Let's say that's everything on Earth has this thing in every single gene, left or right. And let's say that every single thing on our planet is left in this scenario. Every single thing on Earth, the grass that you step on, the air, every single molecule everything that you do to breathe is all left. Everything on our planet's been designed that way. And scientists have figured out to take the exact same cell and make it right-handed.
Wow.
But the problem is that nothing in our evolutionary history, nothing that we've ever built, nothing we have recognizes this stuff. But because of the way the DNA works and molecules work, is that it looks, because it's a mirror and it's just right-handed instead of left-handed, our systems don't know the difference. It looks exactly the same, but we can't handle it. We don't know how to decode it. And so if we were to mess around and create a virus, like a mirrored virus, like the cold, like we would be completely incapable of stopping it. Our body wouldn't recognize it because it's never been programmed with any of these right-handed molecules. We're all left. It doesn't even know what it is. That doesn't even make sense. And, we figured out. Yeah, bro. I mean, that's still like left-handed. Like, we still recognize this, right? We could build vaccines. You talk about mirror molecules. There's nothing we can build to fight them, right? So it's crazy stuff.
You got me thinking. Last year, I was listening to an audio documentary. I love to listen to radio and this kind of.
I love Audible. I have Audible.
I don't have it, but probably you would have this same content available there as well. But this guy was talking about AI and machine learning and artificial intelligence as a whole.
Yeah,
and he was a scientist, and he was explaining the danger of AI. And the way he was explaining, I'm going to try to put in simple terms here, but essentially he was saying that he was doing some research, right? How this model could help him to create new elements, that would benefit the humanity, right? The world. So he would put the arguments to the model. Mm-hmm. And the model would create this whole list of elements, good elements, right? Yep. And then he stopped and thought, what if I shift the arguments? Mm-hmm. So instead of asking for good elements, he asked for the model to create dangerous elements.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And he let it go. He put it to run, and a few hours later, he came back. There was this whole list of elements that could harm people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is what he was trying to explain: is the power is there. It depends who is handling, right?
Yeah. No, dude, let's just think about, little Timmy. He grows up and he wants to be the guy that ends the world. Like, that's just it. Like, he's just batshit crazy. And he's like, I want to cause chaos and destruction. And the only unfortunate part is this guy's like kind of Einstein level smarts, right? He just unfortunately has some intelligence to him, but he doesn't have all the tools. You give them someone like AI and say, hey, how can I build a black hole that can collapse on Earth? What do I need to create some type of system, or what do I need to do to create this or a virus from the mirror molecules that I was just speaking of, right? Like, how do I create that? And then because they want to be that guy and they don't realize it could be civilization ending, and then they decide to create something with it. So yeah, the way that I like to envision this, and it goes back to what I was saying about technology lag, right? I swear, there's this big thing about the Drake equation of like, hey, if there's people out there and if there's different species, then where are they all at, right? Why haven't we seen them? And I think that there's a big shot that what you're saying might be a play in one of the, they call them gates or walls that kind of stop evolution. There's just different things that, happen that prevent intelligence for making it to that point. And I believe that maybe AI is one of those. We're probably walking around, all of us, with like dynamite in our hands, like dumbass cavemen, and we don't realize it, right? Like we're all walking around like, oh, it's AI. It's so awesome. And it's literally like dynamite in our hands waiting to just blow us to smithereens, right? But we think it's the next best thing. So to your point, what's to say that we're not at that threshold where people are doing this, or, that there's some type of thing that's been put in place that we're going down that road. So that's very true, right? I've thought about that. It's kind of kept me up at night when it's come to what can AI do. I don't ever, like, you can ask me a million times over from now till the day I die, is Terminator going to happen? Is Skynet going to come and the computers are going to turn themselves on and kill us? No, I'm not. I'm more worried about what you're saying when this kind of stuff gets into the wrong hands or the wrong group of people because somebody's a Ted Bundy and he influences others, right? And they can like really cause some crazy stuff. I think that our infrastructure and all of these systems haven't evolved quick enough at the pace of our technology to be able to sustain these kinds of, issues. But that's my thought.
No, I totally get it. And I agree with you. And if we look back in the history, like we
already know, Joe, our parents, everybody's already always said the kids are horrible this generation.
No, but
I'm joking.
Farther back.
Farther back.
So,
no.
Yeah. Farther back. Yes. I think we already went through like not the human species, but in the planet Earth, there was already like 5 or 7,
probably a dozen extinction events.
Massive distinction.
We're in one right now. We're right now.
Are we?
Yep.
Which one?
I don't know if they've given it a name. Yeah, it's happening. I don't know, but because I think, like, to not to cut you off, but I think there's like a definition, right? When there's a certain percentage of loss in biodiversity on the planet, then that indicates that we're in the middle of one of those mass extinction events. And because of what humans have done and all of the species that we've lost over the last 100 years, I'm pretty sure that we classify to be in the middle of an extinction event ourselves. Because, dude,
well, but the human species is just growing. So
we are. But that's the thing, though. The extinction event has never been, and this is my question. I want to flip it to you, and I want to get your actual profound thoughts when I flip this back to your way. Yeah, we're in the middle of an extinction event, but the extinction event itself has never been dependent on the humans, right? It's like, if you look at all of the diversity from plants and how many animals on there, you take a list of every single one, and you put them down, and if I chop 80% of those off and say 80% of those gone, never to exist again, and then there's only 20, then you're in an extinction event. And we're there where we're having so many drop off. We're just not here's my question to flip it to you, though. Are we those dumbasses that are in the middle of an extinction event and we're one of the species that is also going extinct, and we're just, because we're in the middle of it, we don't recognize it?
I don't know if it's a question for me. I have so limited, knowledge about it. I know a little bit about documentaries that I watch, but other than that, I'm pretty lame. I just
What's your opinion?
If we kill most of the other species, like, we are going to die inevitably, right? Because we are not going to have the supplies, and not going to have food and things like that.
Yeah.
So we will not be able to sustain ourselves. That's what happened to the Easter Island. I think we already talked about this in one of the episodes, right? But essentially, Easter Island, for
I don't know if we did, but yeah.
It's a small island on the Pacific, and what happened there was that people were living, they were thriving, but they are in an island, right? It's not that much big, and these different tribes, they were growing and growing and growing to a point that there was no more resources. So they chopped the last tree. They didn't have more food, so they started to battle against each other, and the population simply declined to
crashed,
like just a few hundred.
Yep.
Like, even to this day, there's people living there, but it's very limited, right? And if you go there, they have this massive totems, like the rock totems that they were building from the rocks in there.
What I heard too is I heard that
there's
like
no tree anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, so what I heard too, that's the same story like what I'd heard too. In this next part, like I might be mistaken, but I heard that what happened in those rocks, it's sort of like this weird irony in the rocks themselves, because I heard that they were also selling their like the wood. They had a certain kind of wood that was growing on their island that was good for like, you know, ships or whatever their wood that was they were growing, and they were using themselves. But they started trading the wood for those stones. It was a sort of form of bartering, and those stones were heavy, and they could use them to build stuff with. And so I heard that they were also, not only were they using all of their resources, but they were also, trading their resources out at an unsustainable rate. And then they were given the rocks. And so now these rocks are the eerie reminder that they were once currency, paying for the trees, that they were basically selling out themselves, selling out their island out of resources to have these that are pointless, right? They're valuable. They're invaluable now, right? Because they're monuments, but essentially, bad reminders of bad business.
No, it's very true. And if we extrapolate this train of thought, we can imagine that the Earth in itself is an island, right? Because we live in a bubble.
We are a floating island.
The Earth,
we are a floating island.
Big, right?
It's one island.
We have limited access to resources.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
and that's why Trump is trying to get Canada, Greenland, and Panama. And all these countries.
Bro, I don't. We gotta figure out.
Let's just leave it there.
Hey, I don't want to. Well, the good thing is.
By the way,
Go ahead. I was gonna say. I
have a lag. I think we have a lag in here.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say. No, I thought it was funny too. No, I was gonna say that. I don't know what they put in it, but that Crown Royal that you gave me was absolutely phenomenal. It tasted so good. It didn't taste like Crown Royal in the U.S. So going back to your point, like,
the whiskey.
Yeah. So I thought that, like, man, I definitely want to I want to figure that out too. So it didn't taste the same, but now I'm thinking, right, like am I going to have to pay twice as much to get that bottle from Canada? We've had too good of a hangout for us to crash our a beautiful podcast over Canada-U.S. relations. So yeah, you gotta keep it like there.
Yeah, man. But I just feel sorry about the situation, right? I think my very limited opinion on this is, man, I think it's going to hurt everybody.
Yeah.
And regular people like you and me, we're going to feel this on our pocket somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to be the advantage for the US as a whole, but
I don't
see what future holds.
Yeah, I mean, because even like my wife's, I don't want to talk about it. Don't want to get into politics too heavy on here, but there is a consensus, and even in the U.S. public, because I hear it from people, is that those expenses and tariffs, while it sounds great in theory, a lot of that expense is just going to be handed right back to us, right, through price increases and stuff. So. I definitely think that we will see. Yeah. History will tell, right? Who knows? But I did have that same thought.
We are on the edge of some rough times. That's for sure. It could be for both of us, like in the US and Canada, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. What I saw about the tariffs and the damage they cause is also to the same point that you were saying, that it can be harmful for the US population as well.
Yeah.
In a way, right? So it depends how things, are put together. So it's really hard to tell.
Yeah, no, it's going to be one of those things, right? I'm kind of kind of interested to see what happens over the long haul. But I mean, I don't claim to have a crystal ball. I'm going to be over here, and you and I are going to keep doing our thing every Thursday, right? I think that I know that our goal is to have at least one key or a marquee guest. Let's make that the goal, like one key marquee guest at least a month, right? Like we'll figure it out. I'm just so happy to be back, brother. It's so cool to be back to doing this again. Season 2.
I was missing, and I have to tell you, I was missing so much that I didn't even I didn't even think about canceling today. But man, I am so tired. Last night, to be honest with you, I was on an emergency room with my wife.
Oh, so everything
she
okay?
Was having this migraine. No, she's fine now.
Okay,
she got the medication, but I went to bed like 5 a.m. So, and I'm not like you.
Yeah.
Tonight,
I'm
an
tired.
Early bird, so I have to sleep.
Bro, hey, on that note too.
I am crashed.
Oh yeah, bro. No doubt. I think that this was great. We were right at our hour mark, right? Because we started 15 late. But I think that was wonderful for the first season back. So let me go over here. I'm going to key up our outro theme banger that you and I both love.
Cool.
And I want to keep the music, crank it up. But brother,
why you do that?
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I need to ask you one thing.
Yeah.
Because this was something that I thought, should I say or should I let him notice? And I think you didn't notice. There was one change here. I changed something on my setup. Did you notice?
No.
Let me ask you.
No, because you got the TV, you got the thing.
No.
What did you do?
Not that. Did you see the colored stripes on my camera?
No, what happened?
Well, now I am on the control. Now I learned how to use the software, and I don't have to keep doing this. So yeah, now I'm good.
There we go, season 2, ladies and gentlemen. Joe's got it. No more funny. I love the old 90s. The bars like we're getting into a control scene. But Joe, bro, it's so nice to have you back, brother.
I didn't lie because I had to keep pushing the button.
All right, we'll get this thing figured out, man. It's so nice to have you back, man. I'm glad to get this podcast kicking off. We'll get some guests. We've already got the beer. Starting next week, maybe I'll start giving away some beer money. We'll get more people viewing. But hey, thank you so much. Shout outs to whoever saw us. And if you checked in live, thank you so much. If not, and you're listening on the Spotify after, thank you so much. We're back, season 2, another 25 episodes or more coming. Joe, what do you got? Any final words before you fall asleep on us?
No, that's it, man. Just thank you for being here with me and providing this funny moments. I love it.
Hey, bro.
Can't wait for the whole season.
I can't wait. And before too long, I promise we're gonna have some live people asking us questions. So, on that note, Joe, I'm flipping to the outro scene. Man, are these beers getting to me or what? I want to get us out of here, get our people on the way. Oh, wait a minute. I'm trying to scroll. You made some improvements. I got buttons for this. Going to the ending. Yeah. All right, Joe. Let me just mute us because they don't want to hear about what we're going to say next. I'm muting us, Joe. Thanks, everybody.